What to do, vinyl community? Welcome to the Fluffy Records YouTube channel. My name is Brian, that's Brian, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my vinyl purchases of June/July of 2024. Have a good stack here to show, as well as other music related items. But before I get started, please like and subscribe. I'll be leaving my Instagram link in the description below. Go follow me there. I truly appreciate it when people do that. And also, before I get started, I do want to give the two shout outs to two channels. So, first one, I've given a shout out multiple times, but I always just got to shout this channel out, and that's the Jazz Bums. Mike, Chris, and Felipe are killing it with their jazz related content, whether it's records or mostly it's records, and of course their live streams every Friday. They're killing it. Shout outs to them. Second one, I should have given a shout out since the day they started to recognize my channel and given me plenty of shout outs, especially more recently where I was on their show, and that's the Rachel's Ghost TV show. That is Rachel's Ghost and her partner in crime, Susie, or Sue. Scoozy's Ghost. Those two wonderful gals are always killing it in the morning show. If you guys aren't familiar with Rachel and her partner in crime, Sue, they live stream every morning from 6 a.m. Pacific time. Again, I'm saying Pacific time because I'm here in LA. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people tune in to that channel and just have a good time. And if you guys aren't familiar with either of those channels, which I wouldn't be surprised if you guys aren't, if you guys are already familiar with them, go. I'm gonna be leaving their links to both channels in the description below, the Jazz Bums and the Rachel's Ghost channel. And be nice to them, please. That's all I ask. Anyways, I'm going to start with my vinyl records. The first one I've had for about 2 months now, and I forgot to show this record when I did one of my either my mail time videos or my fresh off the platter video. I should have included this one, but this record deserves some showing. This is Bill Evans, the Bill Evans trio Moonbeams. This is right after Bill Evans' bassist Scott LaFaro had tragically died in that car crash. And I want to say this is one of those that I got for a really, really good price. I'm surprised this particular record goes for some dough. And when I had seen this on eBay for, I want to say 40, I knew I had to grab it right away. Now, some of you guys might know that I have the Bill Evans 45 box set that Analog Productions put out or had repressed. And one of the records that I listened to mostly from that box is Moonbeams. And I will say the disc for this is kind of, well, not kind of, it is really scratchy, but I don't know, like it sounds pretty good to me. I don't mind it. I'm not one of those. Well, I could be sometimes one of those that gets bothered by the noise when it comes to piano trio stuff. But I enjoy this one, and for the price, if I ever find an upgrade, I'll be sure to do something with this one. Okay, next up is a Discogs purchase. I think I want to say I got this one a month and a half ago. Got this one again, another one for cheap, probably $12. Been wanting more Japanese jazz on the Japanese label, Talk or the Tact on I don't know if it's Columbia, uh like a Japanese or Columbia based in Japan. But this is so far from the series that the records from this label that I've gotten were have been good. So I you know got this. This is Terumasa Hino Quintet and Orchestra Swing Journey Jazz or Journal Jazz. So this is one that honestly I kind of got disappointed with because compared to the other records from this label, this one sort of sounded not the best. Now this is a live recording. They the quintet slash orchestra did a live performance in Yamaha Hall in 1968. So I will say the quintet sounds good, but when it comes to the orchestra, it sounds kind of not muffled, but it sounds like the band is very in the back. And another thing that I've noticed is when you at the very beginning of this record, there's an announcement at like most live recordings, right? But of course, it's in Japanese, so I'm one, I don't know what they're saying, and two, it's not very clear when the announcer is talking at the beginning. It sounds very like Charlie Brown, like womp 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 womp, but much lower. Anyways, this is a musically fan freaking tastic, especially in quintet form. Orchestra form, I gotta give a huge shout out to the guitarist, who is what's his face, Kiyoshi Sugimoto. I believe that cat later went on to do sort of like jazz rock, which Miles sort of did later on in his life. But yeah, I've been wanting more Taro Masahino and more records on Talked or Tact. So far, I have I think maybe three other records on Tact, but yeah, I'm still gonna keep this one just because I enjoy the music, and honestly, this was a blind buy. So now that I'm more familiar with it, I'm definitely gonna be looking for more Teramasa Hino. Okay, next up, I don't know what is next here. Okay, so these next two are records that I found at my, well, not my local shop, but at a local store. I want to say this was about a month now, and well, no, I had been to this store. This is Angel City Books and Records. That's where I found the Black Sabbath and AC/DC records that I've shown not that a previous video I want to say. And so I went back and there were plenty of new records that they had received. A lot of jazz reissues, surprisingly, but so far not some for the jazz stuff there. I there wasn't anything that I wanted. So I went and looked at the other stuff that they had, rock and etc. And I saw this Chuck Berry, 1 dozen berries. I had recognized this album cover because I want to say maybe a year ago or so, Dylan at Noble Records had posted this and said that this was gonna be on his wall or something, or this was gonna be in one of his drops, and that stuck in my head because I remember I had looked up the album and I was just blown away with how pricey this record can get. Part of me will say that I blind bought this because I was unfamiliar with the music, but at the same time I was familiar with the cover and of course Chuck Berry. I mean, I'm more in tune with Chuck Berry's like Christmas songs because I have a Christmas story that I do kind of want to share in the channel later on. Not in this video, but sometime in the future. But picked this one up for $8, and I thought that was a steal. Until I brought it home and played the record. As you can see, the record looks pretty clean. I mean, there's some marks here and there, but when I was there, from the naked eye, it looked clean. Like it looked like something that I would bring home. Um, Side one plays excellent. Side two, however, when I put the needle down for the first track, it was nothing but skips, and I was just let down. I was like, oh no. Um, but for $8, I'm not that disappointed. I will say I learned that now Sweet Little 16 um, is a great freaking tune that I had no idea the Beach Boys pretty much made their version of Sweet Little 16. This record rocks. I really enjoy this one. And if it hadn't been for the skips on B1 side 2 track 1, I would absolutely keep this. But I made a promise to myself that if any of my records have skips, I just can't hold on to them as much as I want to. I will probably not probably. I'll be letting this one go. I'm not sure how exactly, but this is gonna be probably for sale or for I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I just don't want it. Okay, next up, I have Let It Be. This was the same day that I picked this Chuck Berry up, but I do have a little story, and I want to get quick with this. So I was Rachel's Ghost has a Patreon, which you can sign up and for as little as she says, for as little as $1, you can sign up to her Patreon, and there's more exclusive content like additional live streams later on in the afternoon. Not every day, but it's like every Tuesdays and Fridays. Um, yeah. So so it might have been on a Friday when I went to the store, and around the same time, Rachel had started her Patreon live stream, and I had seen this right towards the end of me exiting the record store. And I asked her, and of course, Harry from Harry's Music Room was in the chat. So shout outs to Harry and Rachel for helping me out to get this one. I asked them, should I pick this one up for? Was priced at like it was priced at 38. But shout outs to Tim from Angel City Books and Records, who I have a great connection with, and he gave me a student discount, which I don't even think exists at the store. But he was he was generous enough to give me a student discount for everything that I got that day. Um, we started to have a conversation. He got me to buy this book since I'm a psych major. Um, I still got to read it, but yeah. Anyways, back to Let It Be. This is said to be the first US, and you know what? For it being my ever Let It first ever Let It Be copy, I said why not? I've started to listen to my Beatles again, and yeah, I mean this is great. I love the tunes on here, and of course this is technically not the last one that they put out, but was released after Abbey Road. So, yeah, I mean, let me know if you guys have a copy of Let It Be. And so, anyways, this is it right here, the Apple Again, thank you, Rachel and Harry. I'm going to be leaving Harry's Music Room channel, Harry's channel, down in the description below. Give him a sub too. He's a great guy. Let it be. So next up are recent um, purchases. These next few records are going to be records that I bought locally here at Amoeba. I went from the time of this recording. I went about a week ago now and picked up some great titles. Starting off with this one, coming in hot, Mode, Eddie Costa Quintet. I got this one for $10. This is a freaking gem right here. I've been wanting to get more Mode records, but I always see them either trashed or good copies for freaking a lot of cash. And you know, these Mode records don't sound the best, but musically they are spectacular. And this lineup is no exception. This lineup, oh my goodness. Read that right there. Eddie Costa on vibes, Art Farmer on trumpet, Phil Woods on alto sax, who was that? What was that? Teddy Kittok on bass, and Paul Motion on drums. Yeah, Paul Motion, who later joins the Bill Evans trio. So this is some great. Uh, I think this was 1957 when this was put out. Tragically, Eddie Costa did die a few years later. I think he died in '62 from a car crash, just like Scott LaFaro. But uh, this is one of these cats that I need to get more records of, because there are a couple of records of his out there, but I think he was mostly a sideman, if I'm correct. But yeah, this is a great addition to my Mode Records collection, and I'm still looking for some. I'm not gonna name which ones, but there are some great stuff on Mode, and the art cover design is just spectacular. So don't sleep on these Mode records. You'll be surprised by the lineups. I mean, sometimes you'll see Vince Guaraldi on there, or um, there are a couple with what's his name, the Vibes player, not Eddie Costa, but to Victor Feldman. I have one of Victor Feldman's records, and it's freaking killer. And another one, Terry Gibbs. So this next one is another label that I told myself at the beginning of the year that I would start getting more records from this label. Now, mind you, Chad Kassem did announce at the beginning of the year that he was going to have a reissue series of this label, and he did. Some people were happy about it. Some people had mixed feelings about it. I think I was in that crowd of mixed feelings for this reissue, but to each their own. Uh, Anyways, this is on Pablo. This is Joe Pass Virtuoso 3. And for the first time, I paid more than $10 for a Pablo. Got this one for $14.99. This is one of the. I've noticed these Pablo records are going up in price, and that's a. I guess that's both good and bad, because more people um, are recognizing the label. But back then these records used to go for a buck or two. But again, now there's these these audiophile reissues that I think the retail price goes for 30 or 40. I'm not sure. I haven't bought. Man, it's been a while since I bought an like a modern reissue, which I need to do. Need to go on a reissue spree and make a reissue video soon. But Yeah, this is just Joe Pass, solo Joe Pass. And look at this gatefold. I mean, absolutely stunning. I don't know how many virtuoso albums he did. I know there's like another one, like a fourth one. Obviously, there's a one and two, but I don't know when he stopped with the virtuoso series. But yeah, I saw this one. I looked up the price for this one. I'm surprised that this one goes for over $30. So I knew I had to pick this one up, not because I wanted to flip it. By no means am I gonna flip this record anytime soon. But actually gonna just put this there. Um, it's a great record. So if you find this for a good price, don't overpay like I probably did. But um, yeah, don't overpay for these Pablo records. Next up, I have been wanting this record for some time now. Every time I see a copy, it's either trashed or yeah, mostly just trashed. And I have found some copies online for ridiculous money. I found this one surprisingly uh down in the bin section. They have additional bins in at Amoeba, like for every genre that they have. You know those bins that are down there where you have to sit down. They have a couple of those there. I think this was in the um what's it called, new arrivals or something. But anyways, this is on Savoy, 1956. Milt Jackson. What is this? Milt Jackson. Meet Milt Jackson on Savoy. He plays vibes, piano, and does vocals on here. And this is an original uh, pressing of this record. This sounds freaking killer, and obviously, it's because the engineer for this was Rudy Van Gelder. And look at how clean this freaking baby is. This thing looks brand new. I mean, there's no other than this little ding right here, I guess. This looks beautiful. And the record too. I mean, I paid how much for this? Okay, I did pay a little extra, but I mean, this looks brand new. And look, they I don't know if you'll see in the dead wax RVG right there. And it sounds stunning. It sounds beautiful. I think my favorite track on here has to be with him on vocals. I don't think I had ever heard Milt Jackson on vocals. Maybe he did a vocal album for Pablo, for the Pablo label, but I know he did vocals. Like I was aware that there was stuff out there of him with vocals, but um, it's one of those instances where um, where you just never pictured a certain jazz musician with doing vocals, right? I was surprised with Kenny Burrell. I was surprised with Kenny Dorham, and now I guess Milt Jackson. And I'm sure there are other musicians that I probably am aware of who's done this previously. But anyways, let me before I show more records, I did forget to show. I got some record collector news, some old issues here. Beach Boys, uh, Elton John. These are all great, by the way. Jim, record collector news guy who runs this news uh, magazine or advertising um, is based in LA, I want to say, and his new issue of record collector news, I believe, has Johnny Cash. So I'm gonna be picking that up when I see it out there. Another thing that I picked up, "Be My Baby," a Ronnie Spector, who Honestly, I'm not too familiar with Ronnie Spector. I mean, I know she was um with her group. Shoot, what's her group's name? Was it the Spectors or was it the Ronettes? No, I gotta look it up. Okay, now this is me being a dumb Zoomer who forgot what the name of their group is. So I expect everyone in the comment section to ridicule me for that. The Ronettes. Okay, I was correct. The Ronettes. It's like I remember there was the Ronettes, the Supremes, and etc. But anyways, picked this one up for $12, and I heard this was an interesting read. So um, yeah, very happy about that. Next up, the last, actually not the last, the second to last, yeah, the second to last record of pickup of Amoeba. I've been having really, really good luck with finding green label CTIs. In a previous video, recent video rather, I had shown that I picked up um, Joao Gilberto Stoneflower. No, not Joao Gilberto. Carlos Jobim. Another rookie mistake right there. Carlos Jobim, Antonio Carlos Jobim, Stoneflower, original green label. I went back to Amoeba after that time of me picking up that title, and I found this Freddie Hubbard's Straight Life. And guess what? Boom! Green label. Original pressing, $23. It does have some taping down here, but listen, who gives a crap, right? We're not here to listen to the damn covers. We're here to listen to the music. And I knew I couldn't pass on this one. I guess I didn't show the gatefold here, so let me do that. That's the gatefold there. Look at that. Smoking a pipe. That's the old uh, American classic way, I guess. But anyways, this is another instance where I went to the informational desk at Amoeba to see what pressing this was, because the outer sleeve didn't say if this was an original. But once I took the disc out, I was like, my eyes were just, they shined because I was so happy that I saw the green label. And of course, it's Van Gelder in the dead wax right there. Right there. Boom. So when it comes to Freddie Hubbard on CTI, right now I have Straight Life. I have Red Clay, right? Red Clay, yeah, Red Clay, and what's his other one? The one with the black and blue. Have that one. I don't know if there's any other Freddie Hubbard lead on CTI. If there is, let me know down in the comments below. Uh, but yeah, I'm very happy. I've been wanting this record uh, for a year or two now. So now this is one where I was close to pulling the trigger and buying online, but something told me that I would just find one here locally. Next one, this is one. This was a record on the wall, and usually I don't. Lately, I've been wanting more records on the wall to for me to purchase, and I went and I saw something that just caught my eye, and for a good price, $50. I'm gonna say right now on Atlantic, the one, the only, John Coltrane. Coltrane's Sound. This is a magnificent record. Um, this is one that I don't ever see in the wild, like either early pressings or originals. The Someone wrote somewhere on here and I've mentioned this previously in a previous video, rather. Um, whoever whoever's grading these records, you know, I guess they're heavy uh graders, because I mean, other than the sticker, this cover is pretty darn good looking. I mean, at least in the front, right? But when you look at the back, I mean, there's some wear here, some ring wear. I don't know if there's any writing, but it doesn't look half bad. And again, we're not spinning the record, the covers here. The record is freaking clean. I want to say this is almost VG plus, but it is so darn clean, and it's on that Plum label, Plum Atlantic label. So freaking happy that I found this. When it comes to Coltrane on Atlantic, I have Giant Steps, I have Coltrane Jazz, and now I have this one. I used to have a copy of My Favorite Things, but it was one of those where I it was like a really later reissue that it's like, you know what, someday I'll find an original, and so far I have not. So maybe that's my luck. But anyways, Coltrane sound. This is a great one. Who's on here? John Coltrane on tenor and soprano sax, McCoy Tyner on piano, Steve Davis on bass, Elvin Jones on drums. Woo! My favorite tune on here has to be Central Park West. It is absolutely beautiful. Can't remember what year this one came out. Maybe 1962. I could be wrong. Usually I will say what year each album is released for every record that I show, but lately I'm getting back into the to the to my rhythm again. I mean, cut me a little bit of slack. I haven't made a video in about a month now, but yeah, have some records that I wanted to show, and I'm almost complete. So these last few are online purchases, starting off with a Blue Note sleeper. I want to say everyone's familiar with so many Blue Note titles, but I feel like one that's slept on are the two records that were put out in the Blue Note 9000 series, which is, I believe, what they called it was the vocal series of the Blue Note label, jazz label. But here's one that I got, the first one of the two on the 9000 series. This is Portrait of Sheila by Sheila Jordan. And this is one that I've been wanting. Sheila Jordan, who I don't think did anything after this, or at least when it comes to uh, putting out records, I don't think she did many after this one. This one was early on. I mean, early 60s. I want to say 1962. And the people on here, I mean, I'm only familiar with maybe two of them. Barry Galbraith on guitar, Steve Swallow on bass, and Denzel Best on drums. I'm not that familiar with Denzel Best, nor am I that familiar with Sheila Jordan, but she has a pretty darn good voice. Some people may not enjoy it, but I really like it because of the group that accompanies her on here. And there's 12 tunes on here that they um, cover. I was just making sure if there were any originals, but yeah, this is a great one. This one is a 1966 mono reissue, but it sounds fantastic. You know, I don't mind if a record has the whole Van Gelder with the plastilite pressing. This one doesn't, which I don't really mind. Like, I'm just glad that I finally have a copy in my hands. and we'll see what Blue Note does. Will they reissue these the two um vocal on Blue Note? We'll just have to see, right? And I expect they will, but maybe next year they'll probably do something. They'll put both of them out as maybe a tome poet or a classic series together. Who knows? But for right now, um, yeah, recommend people check this one out. Okay, next one is my most recent purchase here. I want to say I got this one maybe a week ago online on eBay. This was a bid. This was an auction, and I felt confident, and I got it right. This one was put out in the Jazz Dispensary series a couple years back, and I had seen it. I was every time I had seen the reissue out in the wild, I was about to grab it, but I don't know. Something again. This is another instance where something told me that I would find or buy an original online, and here it is. Prestige Bernard Purdy Good. This is 1970. Honestly, I can't remember what year this one was put out, but this was in the 70s. Can't remember the exact year, but this was 70s. Okay, maybe 71. Great lineup. One where don't I'm not that familiar with the whole lineup, but of course I know Bernard Purdy. Um, but I found a really really clean copy of this, and here's the lineup. You guys can read it there. Uh, Pretty big lineup here, but um, yeah, this is the time when Prestige started to put out their records with the purple label, and I have a couple of these now. Maybe I have two. Might be wrong. I'll probably only have two of these, but uh, yeah, this is one where the prices can vary for these copies. I think I only paid around 60 for this, or around 70 maybe. But yeah, maybe I'll get the reissue to compare. Maybe not. But for now, I'm gonna enjoy what I have, and that's this really really nice copy of Bernard Purdy's Purdy Good, and yeah, RVG or Rudy Van Gelder in the Dead Wax. All right, so this next record, another one where I've wanted this record for a year now, maybe, or a year and a half, and fortunately, I found this musician's. I think it's his first record. Anyways, this cat did two records on black jazz, and I found one. Was it this year? Yeah, this year, early on this year, and I included it in my uh, video called "Records That I Fixed Using the Toothpick Method." I'm talking about Rudolph Johnson. He did two records. First one that I bought of his was Spring Rain, and the next one I won it in an auction on eBay again for a good price, and it's the one that I had been missing on Black Jazz, Rudolph Johnson, The Second Coming. This is a promo, and yeah, white label promo. I don't know, some people enjoy this one more than the first one. I enjoy both, but if I had to pick between the two, I want to say I enjoy Spring Rain more. I just connect with the music more on that one than this one. But don't get me wrong, this is still a great record. Um, you can find the Real Gone reissue for a good price. I think you can find a copy under $20. But you know, I when it comes to these black jazz, I want to find originals, and And yeah, I found one for under $100. I want to say I paid 60-ish. I can't remember actually how much I paid for this. It was under 100. This is 1973. And yeah, who do we have here? Kent L. Brinkley on bass, Douglas J. Sides on drums, Kirk Lightsey on piano, and of course Rudolph Johnson on tenor sax and the arranger. Very cool. Of course, producer Gene Russell. Very, very nice. So yeah, I think his first one was the Spring Rain, and then he did this one. Um, one of the records that I need to clean, but is pretty darn clean already, just a little dusty. But yeah, this is another great one. Um, if you guys aren't familiar with the Black Jazz series, I believe the founder of it was Gene Russell, the piano player who would go on to produce his records, or at least the early ones. I can't remember if he did all of them. I don't think he did, but he did a lot for Black Jazz. Okay, last one. This is a big one for me. This is one that I discovered in I think 2020. Yeah, 2020. And I'm thinking of doing a video of a a video of records or albums slash musicians that I discovered in 2020, something like that. And this is one that I absolutely love the music on here. This is 1976. Um, Originals can go for so much, and I had to pay up for this one, but this was worth it. 1976, Mother Earth, Plantasia, Mort Garson. Yeah, I for the longest time, not the longest time, for a good while, I had the reissue. Well, there's plenty of reissues of this now, but at the time, there were only maybe one or two out there. And yeah, I want to go more into detail maybe when I make the video, but this is one. This is people say Mort Garson is one of the first people who started doing electronic music, or at least synthesizer. I'm not sure if that's correct. Maybe it is, but if it is, I mean, more power to him, right? That is such a great cover. When it comes to finding an original one of this, I've always been looking for it with the sticker. But yeah, this is one of my favorite records, and thankfully, I fortunately came with the original booklet. This is one of those records where I had uh, listened to on repeat uh, in 2020. But yeah, I found this one online on eBay for, I think this was an auction, and no one had placed a bid, and I decided to place my bid very last second, like the last 10 seconds. And yeah, I won, and I said, screw it, I really want this album. I had seen a sealed copy of this record at Amoeba on RSD Day, record store day this year. It was sealed, but it for some reason it didn't have the sticker, and I was like, what the hell? So I was a little, skeptical about that. But yes, this is it. This is all that I have for this video. If you guys stuck this far, thank you guys so much for watching. I didn't expect it to almost reach an hour, but what can I say? I love yapping. So if you guys enjoy me yapping, uh, thank you. I truly appreciate it. Um, Again, I'll be leaving my Instagram link in the description below. Don't forget, I'll also be leaving the channels that I shouted out in today's video. Um, Tell them that Fluffy sent you, and please be nice to these people. These people are amazing. But yeah, this is it for today. Again, recording on the 4th of July, as you can see right there. 4th of July. Um, but yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you guys so much. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care.